Well, hello there. Well, good morning, and it's Coronation Day. Now, I must make it clear before I get into this broadcast that it is in no way representing a Republican or blasphemous position. It's just a bit of light-hearted fun, an alternate to the BBC commentary. So I commend you to put the BBC broadcast on. I've got it on mute. We're currently watching some dignitaries carrying flags. I think this is the Scouts coming in now, by the looks of it. But yes, we'll let the Scouts get into the Abbey, and then we'll crack on. So let's see who we've got in. A fine band of people. We've got Simone from Hooked on Classics. Good morning, Simone. We've got Simon from Project MGTF. We've got Ujuj, Julie. Good morning. And I think that is it so far. We've got four. Oh, Dinosaur Dad. Simone doesn't watch TV. TV tax is a rip-off. I know a lot of people who do not have TVs in their house. So I don't blame you. So hopefully my detailed and incisive commentary of the coronation will tell you everything you need to know, because I'm sure I'm going to get everything right and not take the piss at all. Dinosaur Dad is in the house representing the Republic of Australia. Excellent. Good morning, Dinosaur Dad. Good morning, Ross. How are you? Have you recovered from Simon and me singing happy birthday to you twice? So we'll let everyone come in. I won't play any more music because my pussy has fled upon listening to that. I'll just give you an update on the coronation. So the men in foil hats have got their special red ribbons in today. Obviously, it's a very ceremonial dress. We've got the men with the bear skins on, and yes, sadly it looks like it's raining in central London, so we'll see if that affects anything. Yes, so it's looking very good. I'm just going to get I don't know where we are in the program. I know they're playing some music in the Abbey as we speak. I'm just trying to find out where the oh my goodness, a huge guest list. Oh, we've just seen the scouts, so that's the Commonwealth Scouts. Actually, I got the group wrong. Yes, it's a bit of a wet day down south. Tell me what the weather is where you are. In Buckinghamshire. It's raining. It's obviously raining 50 miles down the road in Westminster as well. But let's just catch up on the comments. Simone does have a TV. Use it for games and movies. Yes, I think that's allowed, isn't it? Simone, tell us, do you get letters from the TV licensing police telling you that you have got a TV, therefore you've got to pay a fee, whatever? Let's keep an eye on the comments, but also keep an eye on the commentary. Here we go. Now we've got someone appearing. I think this is bang on time. So, here we are. So here is the King and Queen. They're using a horse-drawn carriage today because they were hoping to use a Rover 75 1.8 turbo, but the head gasket has failed. So I've been told that they're having to use this horse-drawn carriage because the head gasket has gone. Let's just look at these pictures. I'm imagining that they're very disappointed that they can't use the Rover 75 this morning. Yes, so they're having to use this gold carriage, with navy blue, royal blue bodywork. Yeah, it's a right shame. We'll break from that for a moment to look at some comments. Simone filled a form and say you don't need one. They leave me. I didn't know that was a thing. So we've learned something. We've learned that the Royal Rover 75 is off the road, and they're having to use this archaic method of transport, and that you can fill in an online form to say that you don't need a TV license. So this is the kind of thing that happens on Beards and Bangers. I'm going to have a sip of tea, and we'll see if you spot anything. Dinosaur Dad says 10 degrees here all day. Last month of autumn, someone dug up Angela Rippon, she's going the reporting for Channel 7 here. What did you do? I didn't realise Angela Rippon was still alive. What's she doing in Australia? Good Lord. Simon says, "What a horrible cup you have." Yes, I've ordered some new stickers. So the legend that is Matt Dickens designed me a new logo, and I ordered some stickers, some new car stickers. I thought we'd better be handing those out so they're on brand. And when they arrived yesterday, I opened the package and I was chucked in this lovely surprise mug, which I've used this morning for my morning tea. I'm actually on my second pot of tea. Yes, if I have to shoot off for a wee, then that's what's happening. It is a big cup, Simon. Yes, it's a massive mug. I don't like tea in small quantities. So Matt and Lisa got it exactly right and sent me a big mug. Simone says she needs new stickers for her channel. Matt Dickens is your man. He's very good. I see, Ross. So Angela Rippon is in the UK, but she's co-hosting with an Aussie news anchor. Let's just see what's happening. So the King is waving. It's obviously very cold in central London because he's wearing a onesie, it would appear. And they've just driven over a pile of shit, so they're going to have to get the snow foam out shortly after this ceremony, I would have thought, because that's going to splatter all up the back of that carriage, isn't it? So, um, well then, let's let's continue to look at the comments. Julie is going to sort Simone out, and Simone thinks she's going to get punched. Yeah, I don't know how long this is going to go on for because there's football on this afternoon. So, and I've got to wash my hair as well. So, and there is Queen Deirdre, our first. Oh, she's waving. She's waving. Deirdre, of course, previously known as Barlow, Rashid, amongst other names. Yes, don't they look resplendent in this this archaic form of transport? And I do wonder if the Royal Rover 75 will make an appearance at some point. Simone points out that F1 qualifying is on at some point too. Yeah, it's yeah. There's several clashes, so we're gonna see what happens. So obviously, we've got a loyal band of followers on here at the moment. This is quite early for me. I do get up early, but I don't quite get really going till a bit later in the day. Simon wonders how many sweet wrappers they use to decorate the carriage. I think that the king and queen had to eat a lot of Ferrero Rocher to get it looking like that. I'm yeah, I'm just concerned for what it's done for their blood sugar levels. But yeah, that's a hell of a lot of Ferrero Rocher wrappers. Here we are. So Ross says it's surreal watching exactly the same footage. Think we're getting the BBC. Are you referring to my alternative commentary, or the actual broadcast? They probably got one. It's probably one lot of cameras, and the BBC are probably making an absolute fortune um, by yeah, selling it to the likes of Channel 7 Australia and such like. If you are just joining us here on this completely serious alternative commentary of the King's coronation, then do say hello, say good morning. It's a small but very select band of people here so far. So if you have just joined us, please tell us you're here. Say good morning. Say monarchs. Say whatever you want to say. Simone asks, who is going to clean up all the horse poo? I think that Queen Deirdre will come out later with her bucket and shovel and collect it, like you see people used to do in the countryside, and then sprinkle it on her roses. And I think those roses will be all the better for that royal horse poo. We now see the procession. Again, I think yeah, there's a lot of horses there. I think the MG Rover Royal Fleet has just all gone wrong at the same time, and they're having to rely on other methods of transport. If you are just joining us, the main news is that the Rover Royal 75 Tourer 1.8 turbo, its head gasket did go, and that is why the King and Queen are being transported in this this rather arcane form of transport. Simon read that all the courses are called Ken, and the horse in bottom, Sad Ken, was actually an ex-royal horse. This is what we want to bring people. This kind of journalistic quality, you know, is very difficult to it's very difficult to find anywhere else. So, and as I say that, two people have just left. So there we are. It's too much. I know people want frippery and decollage and all kinds of things today, but we're here. We're here. We are serious. Ross asks, why hasn't Simon done sausage and mash yet? We've all done one. Lol. Yes, I did mine on Bank Holiday Monday because I've had a really busy week. Just keep an eye on the procession out of the corner of my eye. Yeah, I did mine Monday because I've had a very busy week with work. So I've been away and I've had people with me and stuff like that. Ross, I saw your kangaroo sausages, which looked absolutely banging. We've seen Simone's sausage and mash with the sausages actually nestled inside the mash, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. I've seen Liz's offering. Yet to see Simon's. Although I'm sure we're going to see more sausage and mash offerings in the next few days. But mine were delicious. If you haven't already watched my video, I did make it into a video because why not? And bangers and mash is appropriate for beards and bangers, I think. So all the bangers and mash look great. They did. It's been some interesting. There's been some interesting presentations. I think Liz served hers with beans. I think Simone, you went for peas. I went for the pure onions, just to really give my colleagues a treat the following day, and they appreciated it. They really did appreciate it. Let's just have a quick look at the procession. They're now going down the mall. They're still obviously very cold. Although the Queen has taken her onesie slightly off the shoulder, which is both alluring and at the same time reassuring. Nicholas Witchell's got nothing on me. Let's keep a little eye on the comments. Simon says that Simone's wins for him. We always stand the sausage in the mash. It's good, isn't it? The other thing that's nice with mash is fish fingers and peas. Mash fish fingers and peas, and you kind of mash it all together to make kind of a mixed collation of sausage, of fish finger mash and peas. It's very nice. Simone says, shall we do a boatie and decide who is WAP? We can do. So if you want to tell us who is worth a podger, then if I think that is the correct acronym for WAP, then do let us know. Simon asks, do the horses get to use the passenger lanes in London? Also, are they ULEZ compliant? No, I think their methane emissions actually don't meet Sadiq Khan's exacting and very vague requirements. So they're going to have to pay £15 per horse to be driving in this particular part of London. So it's worth, if you are watching this from overseas and you do visit London with your horse, then please make sure that you do use the ULEZ checker, put your horse's registration number in, and if necessary, pay the ULEZ charge. It's very important. Let's just see where they're at. They're still on the mall. The mall is adorned with the Union flag, along with flags of the various realms that Charles is also king of, including Australia, because the Australians love reminding that Charles is their king, I'm told. So the head of the procession is the head of the procession is now just going under Admiralty Arch, so they're at the bottom of the mall. I can't remember where this leads after here. I did walk actually this route last year, just after the Queen's funeral, and it's quite a nice part of London, just very, very busy. And boy, is Charing Cross Station big. Let's see where we are. Ross, oh, hang on, I've got Miss Julie wants sausage and mash now. Any time of day is good for sausage and mash, and I've not actually had breakfast. I've not breakfasted yet, so I'm gonna be getting hungry. Simone says they better stay out the bus lane. Yes, they had, because the number 57 is going to be coming through pretty soon, I think. Ross has had to mute Angela. Well, why wouldn't you? You've got my commentary instead. Simon says that Britain does pomp very well sometimes. We do. Simone is watching on YouTube. No commentary. Let's just see where the King and Queen are up to. I do think actually that one of the Ferrero Rocher wrappers has actually blown off the carriage, because we can see. I think we can see the brown papery bit that sometimes is very difficult to get off. The gold foil bit that you need to make a carriage look like that. Simon says, "Happy and glorious." Is that the definition of morning glory? Yeah, it's when you follow up with the line "long to reign over us" that we get into some kind of sub-dom thing. Which sorry, I'm going off track there. Yes, Simon, I think you could well be right. The royal carriage is now turning a corner into another road. I think this is going into Whitehall. Again, if they were using a front-wheel drive Rover 75, then that corner would have been a lot easier to take, but there would have been a bit of wallow as they went through the corner. Yes, I will try and bring you an update on the Royal Rover 75 Tourer. Will they get the head gasket fixed by this afternoon? We shall have to wait and see. Julie asks, "What's morning glory? Is that a naughty term?" I shall let Simon show you, Julie. Explain to you. Sorry, I'm so excited about the coronation that I completely got the wrong words there. Yes, Simon. Yeah, this is a hell of a lot of faff just to get milk from the spa. Yeah, and I think the Queen does want a cuppa. Ross lived in London for 10 years. The streets were never that quiet. No, I don't know what's happened today to cause this. It's it's quite unprecedented, to use a BBC type word. Unprecedented scenes here in London. Simone says the carriage is illegal. No registration plate, no indicator. Should have been fitted with airbags by now. Yes, it's. Given that the King and Queen are role models for some people in this country, you'd think they would choose compliant transport. I do think that they're going to get pulled over in a minute by Sadiq Khan, who's on a bike with a blue light on his helmet. There, like that helmet there. The roads are. Although London now that part of London can be quiet because it's so expensive to drive in London with congestion charges. Here we have. Let's just break them. We have the royal family entering, so we can just see Zara and Mike Tyndall, and I think that's one of the royals. I don't know which one it is. And behind him, we've got Prince Andrew. And he has been, obviously, he can't wear a military uniform because he's no longer a working royal, but he is wearing a lovely suit fashioned in Jimmy Savile Row. And we've got, who else have we got? We've got Beatrice or Eugenie, and we've got the guy from Suits, although he's not with his co-actor, Meghan Markle, at the moment. This is really getting quite exciting now. Yes, Andrew looking. He probably must be a bit sweaty in that cape he's wearing. And who we got now? We've got. I think that might be the Princess Royal with her husband James Bond in military uniform today. Anne, of course, being one of the hardest working royals, and there she is in her admiral's hat, having just had a fish pie. And here we have the Duke of Edinburgh, the newly crowned Duke of Edinburgh, with his wife, the lovely Sophie, the Duchess of Edinburgh. and they're lovely children. Yes, Prince Edward here in his finery, and yeah, he doesn't even help his wife up the stairs. But we shall overlook that. We shall overlook that. And another soldier. Here's Prince Richard, the Duke of Gloucester, with his wife, Mrs. Gloucester. We shall see if we can spot any more royals. So yeah, Princess Anne and Commander Bond are making their way up the nave of the Abbey. Oh, what a magnificent sight. We'll quickly catch up on some comments. Diana says that Anne dresses as Robin Hood. Yeah, she could well be that. Simon said Project Anne. That could be a new YouTube channel. Princess Anne had a Jensen, She did, and I think she also had a Reliant scimitar. Yeah. I think, I reckon Anne would be good value if you sat down and had a cup of tea or a glass of scotch with her. The king still slowly making his way to the Abbey, just going past I think that's the cenotaph now. Some people have been, that's Han Solo, who have been encased in carbonite. And you saw him there. Obviously, Jabba decided to drop him in Whitehall overnight, and leave him for the coronation. So Han Solo, who'd have thought it? Han Solo in carbonite has made an appearance at the king's coronation. Absolutely incredible. Yes, the procession is still now we're at the centre. We can just see Han Solo in the background there. If you just caught that on the cameras, Han Solo clearly visible in carbonite with some companions. Absolutely incredible scenes here in London. There he is again. Look, there he is again. Amazing, absolutely amazing. So we're now going to go past the cenotaph. I'm going to go off camera just so I can have a smoke without showing something hideous on YouTube. Do talk amongst yourselves. And I think the king has just realised that he forgot to water the greenhouse this morning. So he may have to nip back just before the actual coronation bit itself in a moment. Wonderful. I'm just conscious I'm not drinking my tea from my Beards and Bangers mug here. So I'm providing a very touching. I know. I just felt almost a vocation to do this morning. Something came over me, and I had to spend the rest of the day wiping it off. So here we are. We're still in Whitehall. Had the Royal Rover 75 Tourer 1.8 turbo not suffered head gasket failure, just for those of you just joining us, that is the breaking news, unprecedented breaking news, that the original plan was for the King to be transported in a Rover 75 Tourer, and they've had to use this carriage, which they dusted off. And as Simon correctly pointed out, decorated very hurriedly in Ferrero Rocher wrappers. And now they're turning another corner. There appear to be some patches of diarrhea in the road, which have been very carefully pushed into neat rectangles and squares. I don't quite know what creature had this overnight. But it's certainly something I've not seen on the roads of London before. And we can see the carriage just going past some more flags. Let's catch up on some comments while they do that. Simone asks if I'm going to sell or give out stickers, Rob. I will give them out to my nearest and dearest, which is people like yourself. But yeah, I will be selling them at some point when the channel does get monetized, which might not be that far away. So yeah, I'm now over the 3,000 watch hours. So yeah, need another 900 watch hours from somewhere. But I think I'm gonna hit the 4,000 within a 12-month period. I'm confident of that. Simon asks, do we know how long the journey is? I read it was close to 1,500 miles, which is the equivalent length of 3 Rover 75 limos. Yeah, I think it's something like that. And it's interesting that the procession is obviously in some kind of space-time continuum, because it's doing that 1,500-mile journey in about 40 minutes, which is both surprising and again unprecedented. Had they have had the Rover 75 Tourer limo 1.8 turbo, which is a car that was not available to the general public, then obviously they'd have done it in a lot less time. And King Charles, I relapsed there, would have had more time to water his pansies in his greenhouse. Kirsty Harley is here. Hello, Robert. Oh, I'm in trouble. I've been called Robert. Good morning, Kirsty. How are you? Dinosaur Dad will grab any merch from you guys. Happy to pay for the postage. Maybe a mixed bag. Yeah, the mug was an unexpected surprise, but I think this is the way forward. Marvelous. Yeah, marvelous. Oh, it's it's Katie. That's why I've been called Robert. Good morning, Katie. How are you? Thank you for looking after Louis / Brian in the week. It's greatly appreciated. Katie, when I'm away, Katie looks after Brian for me and does an absolutely spiffing job. So thank you very much, Katie. But you forgot to eat the wagon wheels I left for you. Let's just see where the procession is up to. Oh, there is a car. There is a car now visible. It looks like a Bentley. It will be interesting to see who's in that. Jimmy Quinn is in the house. Good evening. Good evening. Oh God, I'm reverting to Wednesday night live streams. Good morning, Jimmy. I must remember it is morning. So the royal carriage is about to stop at this tunnel that's been built to protect his royalness from the rain. Let's just see if the oh no, the brakes haven't worked. Brake fade. So again, breaking news: the royal carriage has suffered from brake fade. If they'd have fitted ZR 160 brakes, then the carriage would have stopped. They are having to reverse. Oh dear! Oh dear! Oh dear! So we've had a manoeuvring fail, again caused by the fact that the Royal Rover 75 is off the road with head gasket failure. If that is the important news of the day, that the Royal Rover 75 is off the road with head gasket failure because someone thought it was a good idea to put a turbo on a K series engine. There we go. Let's just see what's going to happen now. The carriage door is open. And no one is getting out. A man in a pointy hat is now walking towards the carriage. Let's see what happens next. I'll quickly look at some comments. Everyone's saying hello to everyone. Simon says that those two blokes stood on the back of the carriage. They weigh the same as all the horses pulling the carriage. Are they kind of like the ballast? They've been especially chosen for their weight and density. Oh, now we have scenes of the royal party. One royal that I cannot see is Prince George Michael of Kent. He does not appear to be there. I will try and get word from my sources as to why Prince George Michael of Kent is not at the coronation of his cousin. But there we can see a fine array of royals. Yes, counterbalance. You're right. No WAPs yet. Yeah, I don't think anyone's done a WAP. So maybe we can correct that. I don't know if is it treason to whap a royal. I don't know. We'll find out when I'm arrested after this. Dinosaur says, I always think of the movie Olympus Has Fallen when I see these processions. It could be like that, couldn't it? Yeah. And then it's is it Gerard Butler will appear out of somewhere and save the day. Zara, definitely, yeah. She's got a pierced tongue as well, and you know what that means. Let's just see. Things seem to have ground to a halt. I think actually that is because they're early.
I don't know that.
And Alexa doesn't know either. Alexa, stop. Alexa. So we're now panning back to the royals. Princess Eugenia.
Listen to specific songs anytime you like. Just say try Amazon Music Unlimited. Shuffling all you want to do. Similar songs on Amazon Music.
Alexa, stop. This is unprecedented. Alexa has, I think that's probably actually the security service listening into this live stream, but I will deal with that. Nope whap then. Gob bars are gross. I've obviously missed something. Oh no, I haven't. That's my previous comment. So Simone's a no on that one. I'm definitely a yes. Let's just see who else we can see. Still no sign of George Michael. I really couldn't explain why he's not at the coronation. Alexia, play Baby Shark. Simon's nice try, Simon. Ross says that Anne looks like a lot like her spitting image character. Now the royal trumpeters are performing a musical blowjob, which I think actually signifies the fact that His Majesty the King and Queen are about to enter the Abbey. This is quite emotional, and I think they're probably playing the start of the old grandstand music with their trumpet. Yet look, horns. Oh, here we are. Here we have the back end of the Easter procession, which is still going on from a few weeks ago. But people are now standing up. I can see the Bishop of London there. Who else can I see? Another man in a pointy hat. I don't know who that is. Another cross being carried, and some men with some very colourful jackets, which I think are from River Island. For those who want to know where to get one, if you do indeed want one of those jackets, carrying their rods out in front of them, one hand clasping them. More men in coats. The Grand Wizard of the Freemasons. Oh, and look at this man coming up now with there's Lord Coe. He's going very slowly for Lord Coe. But look at that lovely blue coat that man is wearing. Absolutely beautiful. And Arthur Daly and Delboy just following up behind. So the clergy are now attending to the Queen. She's wearing a beautiful beige wedding dress, which has thrown me slightly. I wasn't expecting to see that. Sorry, men and I do apologize. Yes, there are men and women there. Forgive me. Men wasn't meant in a singular sense. It was meant in a humankind sense. The scouts are here again carrying their banners. And then we have people carrying a very slim rod in front of them, and a lady with a very big rod with a bulbous end in silver, which is lovely. Yes. Camilla Wap just today. Why not? It's a party. Emotions run high, and when the lights go dim, things can happen. Simone believes, and I think rightly, I think that that Simone has that Camilla has rightly cottoned on to Joseph Lloyd's suggestion, and she's wearing a beige leather interior. Simon asked, when is the Sith versus Jedi bit? I think that's part of the vows that he has to take. More men and women coming along, and here we have a man with a very big cross and a very blue jacket with the Archbishop of Canterbury following up. And here we have the Prince of Wales and the lovely Princess of Wales wearing a tiara fashioned from leftover foil. They've obviously been making the sausage and mash challenge this week as well. Simon says there's a WAP, definitely, and the sister as well. And here we have Michael Heseltine, now looking quite elderly, carrying a box of Quality Street, which has been adorned with some foil on top and a fluffy bit around the bottom to prevent the chocolate getting too hot. Quick catch up on the comments. Yes, Kate. I think Kate's an obvious WAP, definitely. Yes, and Simone, she does need a decent meal or two. I think if any of us, were to take her in, we could build her up with some sausage and mash, in the absolute euphemistic sense of that word. Here we have the Duke of Norfolk, and it looks like a Penny Mordaunt there carrying a massive sword. Penny Mordaunt. Is Penny Mordaunt a WAP? Is Penny Mordaunt a WAP? For those who don't know, Penny Mordaunt is the Lord President of the Council, I think is her official title, which means she summons the Privy Council. And here we have a lady carrying a bottle of Chambord, and Floella Benjamin there to the right, carrying another rod with a slightly crooked end. And another man with another box of chocolates, again adorned with this time more Ferrero Rocher. I'm just going to put the sound on quick to see what there must be some music here, I'm guessing. So the music being played is the anthem "I Was Glad" by Sir Hubert Parry, and here is the King resplendent. We should just let this play for a bit because it's an absolutely cracking piece of music. Magnificent. And I think we can see there the Prince George, the future heir of the throne, looking very cutesome in his red tunic. People bowing and curtsying to the king as he walks by, looking magisterial and, may I say, very cozy and cuddly in that fleece, available from Dunelm for $6.99. Quickly catch up on some comments. Shame you didn't do commentary for the Queen's funeral this time. Thank you very much, Ross. I actually had COVID during the Queen's funeral and I hadn't started doing live streams. So, yeah, that's something I missed, I have to say. Simon says he must say all the hats being worn by the guests are very strange. I saw one that looked like a paper shuttlecock. If it looked like a paper shuttlecock, it probably is a paper shuttlecock, Simon. Ujuj hopes that's not rabbit fur they're wearing. I don't actually know what fur it is. I do think it is man-made fluffy stuff from Dunelm, but other manufacturers and purveyors of fluffy stuff do exist. Simone says that the king does look warm and toasty. He might have a toast rack in his pocket. I think he's just pleased to see everyone, to be honest. But yeah, I'm not sure when the royal toast rack comes into play during this solemn religious service. The Queen there stifling a smile, although she could have wind. It's hard to tell. The choir are now singing the Vivats, which is basically a rousing beer song, sung sometimes after rugby games. And we get a lovely aerial view of the procession. The king looking very pleased with his lot. And there behind the king, we have the Chuckle brothers, Paul and Barry, both now elected to Parliament. We haven't seen the Prime Ministers yet, but we'll have some fun when we do. The building is magnificent. Westminster Abbey is indeed a magnificent building. And here we have the lovely blue carpet, fitted only this week by Carpetright, who had a sale on. So they thought it was a good idea to get that carpet done. Very, very tall priests either side of the king. Barry is he real? Is he really? Oh my goodness! Who was that then on the TV a minute ago? We'll have to get back to you on that, Simon. A pause in front of some comfy chairs. Again, supplied by a well-known chain, Furniture Village. Dinosaur Dad corrects me. Blue carpet was left over from the NEC, and it was Barry's twin. Parry. Okay, yeah, that explains it. Right, that's good to know. The king and queen have now been wheeled into these lovely seats, and the queen is handed a booklet. I think actually this is a Haynes manual, because I do believe that after this, the queen is going to be rolling her sleeves up and getting on with some car mechanicisms. And the colours on display here are really quite varied. We've got yellows, pinks, blues, absolutely resplendent. And someone has planted some trees in the middle of the abbey, which is absolutely lovely. Yes, I think it most certainly is. Most certainly is a Haynes manual. Simone correctly, I believe, asserting that it's the Haynes manual for the K series engine. Who forgot to do the oil change, eh? Simon asks, are all those folks with white robes around their shoulders all waiting for a haircut? Yeah, I think yeah, somehow they've taken a wrong turning in that old horse and carriage and ended up in Golden Scissors Turkish barbers. A child is now reading, and the religious ceremony has started. Penny Mordaunt there. We still haven't had an answer yet. Penny Mordaunt there holding a giant sword in her hands. She's having to use both hands, such is the weight and girth of it. But we still haven't had an answer to whether Penny Mordaunt is a WAP or not. The Archbishop of Canterbury is now offering a prayer. Penny Mordaunt WAP, I agree. Yeah, something definitely WAPish about Penny. Lovely. And they've now said the grace so they can sit down and start to eat. A huge plate is to the right of the Archbishop, unless it is some kind of receiver. Oh, now he's starting. Ross asks, when is Mustard delivering the kebabs? They look hungry. I think that's a later part of the service. Katie says, hallelujah. Yes, we do like a kebab here in Aylesbury. Simone says that Penny could lean left or right. She doesn't mind. Simon correctly points out, I think, that that's a BSB dish from 1786. Yes, and that BSB dish was actually installed in the Abbey for the very first test match between England and Australia. The choir now rise to their feet, and it looks to me as if we have Sabrin Tervel, famous opera singer, about to sing something called Kyrie Eleison, Lord Have Mercy, by Welsh composer Paul Miller. This man is singing in Welsh, and there are no subtitles. That's a lot of voice. And this soundtrack overlaid with my commentary will be available for purchase in very select establishments. Who let Boaty in? Yes, yes, this isn't Sabrin Tervel. It is in fact Boaty singing in Welsh. And the man in the background there is having to peep around that bear skin because his view is being obscured. Yes, it will be available 8-track tape, of course. Now the king is moving. It is the king's first movement of the day, I'm told. And let's not forget, this is a solemn occasion, which is why I'm doing a live stream this morning. Boaty, of course, having to park his Freelander around the back of the Abbey to attend this occasion and sing. Oh, and the man on the left looks very excited. The king now standing erect. And he is being presented by the Archbishop of Canterbury. And everyone invited to say, "God save King Charles." And now we had another brass fanfare. And Pam Ayres is now reading one of her poems. They've got the name wrong there on that little subtitle. Simon asks when they pass around the donations plate. Actually, no, that big silver plate is covered in Turkish delight, and it is passed around, and everyone's allowed to take one piece. And here's a beard, our first beard of the day on Beards and Bangers, other than my own and Simon's, of course. And again, acclamations of God save King Charles. And someone has put down one of those bath mats that wraps around the toilet behind him. Such is the excitement of the occasion. Floella Benjamin has now changed her hat and is reciting from a card with the royal cipher on the back. The royal cipher, of course, based on the famous Rover Viking logo. And now we hear the trumpeters of the RAF playing the theme to Last of the Summer Wine. Oh, Simon has kindly started the beard count. So King Charles now being ushered back to his seat. The bath mat is being carried by 4 young boys, including his grandson, Prince George. I will just scroll through I've actually got the program downloaded on my other laptop here, so I can bring you accurate information. And we shall see where we're up to. So we've just had the recognition. And here we have Alex Salmond reading from the Haynes Manual, berating the King and Queen for not keeping an eye on their hoses, coolant level, and keeping up with regular oil changes every 6,000 miles, to which the King grimaces. Yes, it is one big commode. The King will be placed upon that in due course. Penny Mordaunt still alluringly holding her sword in both hands. The King now being asked a series of questions by the Archbishop of Canterbury. Will you promise in future to keep an eye on your coolant level, your hose, and maintain regular oil changes? And the King confirms that he will. The King now being made to swear that if he goes to Pride of Longbridge next year, he will not make numerous Facebook posts asking if his Rover 75 Tourer had any photographs taken by anyone. Again, he confirms he will not do that. The King now kneels before the Archbishop of Canterbury. Black Lines is in the house. Good morning, Steve. And Steve asserts that rumor has it Joe Biden reckons this is a bit boring compared to when he was at Henry VIII's coronation. Yes, at that coronation, raw chicken was ripped from the carcass and eaten like so. This is a far more mundane affair. Yes, does he know the entire system of the Rover 75 onboard computer? And he promises to do this. And he leans forward, and kisses the Haynes manual, which covers all models of MG and Rover cars except the rare ones. Simon says that Joseph is there and filming a royal shuffle. We expect part 1 of 2542 to be out there later today. Yes, Joseph Lloyd is actually in the seats. He's sitting next to Elton John. And now the king is helped back into his chair. Yes, the P scan has been taken and will be plugged into the monarchs a little later on. And now the choir of Tootingbeck Primary School sing another song. There will be a short pause in Beards and Bangers commentary while I go for a wee and get another mug of tea. Do stay tuned, viewers. The king now prays, in the words of English poet Rick Astley. Never going to give you up, never going to let you down, never going to fool around and hurt you. And it would appear that a local drunk has broken into the abbey and is singing unpleasant songs. We shall catch up on some comments. Are they singing Baby Shark? Says Simon. Dinosaur says, quick, everyone. Kate's got him out. I'm sorry I went to the toilet at that inopportune moment. Simone says, do. Black Lions would pay good money to see that. I think many of us would. I know I missed terrible. Firm but supple. Oh, gravity defying. Oh, this is just tantalizing. Bad Books is here. Bad Books is here for some serious commentary of this wonderful royal event. Good morning, Bad Books. How are you, Mark? Let's see what's happening now. The choir is singing Dancing Queen by ABBA for some unexplained reason. Bizarrely at a very slow pace. Penny Mordaunt there, still stoically holding her sword aloft with both hands due to its girth and weight. Her arms must absolutely be aching. Black Lion says that Camilla about to be disappointed when she finds out that not all rulers are 12 inches long. And it would appear that the choir has some infiltrators, as they are not wearing matching clothes. But it's nice to see that the royal butlers have actually been allowed to sing in their white ties. The Duke of Norfolk looking round, wondering where he's left his bag containing his fish fingers for this evening's supper. And here we see Obi-Wan Kenobi performing a Jedi mind trick on the entire congregation. In a moment, he will gesticulate towards Boris Johnson and ask him to go home and rethink his life. Yes, Ross, George Roger Botti will almost certainly be there. Mr. Bean could well be actually conducting the choir. And now the choir morph seamlessly into a new song. Their angelic faces belying the words that are being spoken or sung. I am a fire starter, a twisted fire starter. Dum 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 dum. Another beard, two beards. Simon, please keep the beard count going. So I think we're now up to 3. Had George Michael of Kent been at the ceremony, he would have been that 4th beard. Twisted Firestarter always reminds me of jury service on an arson case. And hello to you too, Matt. How are you? Very nice of you to be here for this serious, incisive commentary of the King and Queen's Coronation Street service. The crowd now standing up again because Everton have just scored. Ross urges us to leave Camilla alone. I'm sure she's waxed. Blacklines asks when they do the conundrum. I'm very well, thank you, _ Thank you for asking. Bad Books gives us a fun fact. The Duke of Norfolk's sister played Alan Bastard's wife, and his brother, Lord Gerald, is a petrol head. He has a 1980s Ferrari and a very nice patina Series 2 Land Rover. Absolutely. Beard count is now up to 3.5. Yes, and 2 in the back there could well be having a crafty smoke. And now we have the Prime Minister announcing special tax rises for the King's to celebrate the King's coronation. And we all have to go to work on Monday. The bank holiday is cancelled. Yes. Breaking news. The bank holiday is cancelled. You must all go to work. The crowd trying not to fall asleep. I should do a Eurovision stream. Yes, that can be arranged. Simone says, "Oh look, it's Satan. He has been beamed down into the pulpit." Blackline says, "Imagine being sat behind one of those pillars." I do not know if that would be a good thing or a bad thing. I shall have a slurp of tea from my coming soon mugs. Yes, Mark. I also bet that Boris is pissed that he's not still PM for this, because he would have got up and given us some wibble and jibble jabber from that pulpit. And now _ is comparing his height with Boaty, having been challenged to do so. I certainly am not tall, as those of you who have met me will no doubt have found out. And now the choir sing another song. This time, "Hit Me, Baby, One More Time" by Britney Spears. And this somber-looking chap is now carrying out a manuscript, which is in fact the audio instructions for a Highline stereo with CD auto changer fitted to many Rover 75s and MG-ZTs. Simon bets the reason the 75 broke down is because Rishi got one of his friends to service it. So for those of you just joining us, which I'm sure is many, the King had to travel in an old-fashioned horse and cart because the Royal Rover 75 Tourer 1.8 turbo heads gasket failed this morning, and they had to seek alternative transport. The Queen will be fixing said head gasket after this ceremony. Simone says that he's probably pissed already, come from the pub. I think there's probably a few of those. It is rumoured that a lot of people gathered at Wetherspoons at 9 o'clock this morning for a Guinness and a fry-up. Mr. Honourable, Black Lives, Mr. Honourable himself telling us how lucky we are to be serving someone better than us. Indeed. Underscore says it seems rather unpatriotic that there's been no Sex Pistols played yet. I did actually play a little bit of God Save the Queen at the beginning of this very live stream, along with some fanfares. Simon correctly spotted that I did play the Sex Pistols at the beginning of this live stream. But we can have some more in a minute. Pam Ayres now returns to the service and is reciting another one of her poems without breaking into laughter at her own jokes, which takes some skill. For some strange reason, next to her is a man with a wooden spike growing out of his head. No one knows how it got there. She's reading that. That's why she's serious. And now we have some people in serious white clothing, and no one has any tomato ketchup stains down their front, which is quite remarkable. Yes, it is the 9 degrees, Simon. They are both expressing their emotions through the medium of song, which is the famous song Going Loco Down in Acapulco, but also dancing at the same time. The Rover 75 maintenance manual now makes its way back to the high altar, and Pam Ayres is suppressing a fart. Oh, no, there it goes. Lots of bowing going on. And the Archbishop of Canterbury has just appeared behind the 8/9 degrees. Oh dear. She's pointing towards heaven. Something's happened. I think someone has left the toast in the toaster too long. He's displeased about that. Someone's going to have to make a new round of toast now for the king because they burnt the first batch. And now the Archbishop is in the pulpit and is smiling nervously because he's forgotten the words. He's waiting for the 9 degrees to disappear out the back. Time to catch up on some comments while the Archbishop is preaching at us. Why is she looking at the timing belt service, says Black Lines. She should have done that before she let the head gasket blow up. Not due for another few years. Well, you can't have your belts done too much. It was a good Persillad, yes. And Bad Books tells us that Charlie did one of the 3 degrees. Well, there we are. Incredible. Yes, the world's most overdue library book has now been returned, and their fine of £14,256.14 has been paid. The King has paid it as a special coronation treat to that person. Simone thinks they use Daz. Other brands of washing powder are available. Black Lines preferred the old quick fitter dance, if I'm honest. Yeah, that would have gone down an absolute storm here. Ross asks, interestingly, if there will be any live sacrifices. Yes, I think that's why Penny Mordaunt is carrying a chuffing great big sword, because she may well stab Rishi in the back. They might sacrifice a goat. I don't think we should refer to members of the royal family in those terms, Simone. Simon assumes that at the end of all of this, we're getting a slightly altered coronation chicken recipe. I've got my notepad and pen ready. Yes, I will be giving you some cooking tips. Let's have a look at what's going on. And one of the scouts is bisecting the 2 guys who are holding their willy warmers in front of them. All I can say is it must be very cold in that abbey. Yes, Simone, I think he could well be reading the Phoenix Force business plan and recounting how he's going to strip them of all their assets, line their pension pots, and buy homes in the Bahamas. Blackline says, some of you may die, or he's quote, some of you may die, but it's a sacrifice I am willing to make. And let's look at the audience reaction. Some people are falling asleep. The young lady in the blue hat has just put her hand to her mouth to say to her partner, God, when is this going to finish? The Blackline says the irony of a man with no arms talking about the armed forces is not lost on the crowd. I really should watch this so I can actually commentate on it. Dinosaur Dad says he's wearing a SpongeBob cardigan. And Simon says, why aren't the horses allowed in the Abbey? Seems unfair. They put all the effort in and have to stay outside in the rain. We'll never know the answer to that. It's a crime. I think this will be needing a public inquiry at the taxpayers' expense after this ceremony to get to the bottom of why this travesty is allowed to happen. And the Archbishop is still going on. Bad Books asks who's on horse manure collecting duty. Camilla is going to Camilla is going to go round with her shovel and bucket after the ceremony and then spread it liberally on her roses. The Archbishop of Canterbury now suddenly stops speaking because he has suddenly remembered that he left the iron on. The Earl Marshal of England, the Duke of Norfolk, there with his rod beautifully displayed at a perfect 90 degrees to his body. Let's just admire that for one moment. The Queen, oh, I do apologise. The choir now break into another song. And the competition for you lot is to put in the comments what song you think they're singing. The butler in the background there looking slightly shifty. Is that a beard? Do tell us. And a man with astonishingly white hair looks on behind the choir. A ginger-haired chorister with matching glasses there, thoroughly enjoying the music. And as a special treat, here we have Harry Potter in the choir. Absolutely magnificent. Those beards have already been counted, Simon, so please don't add them to the beard count. Where are we up to, Simon, on the beard count? Please, can you update everyone? Oh, there's another one. There's another one. Look. Yeah. Yeah. Boris Johnson is still there. Unfortunately, we've not heard anything or seen anything of Liz Truss. Simone thinks they're singing Blobby by Mr. Blobby. I think that is correct, yes. Simon says, why the lack of beards, one might ask? Well, beard fell out of favour when one was used by a Sun reporter to smuggle in a camera and film the Queen tickling her own nipples. This is true. And you will only hear this kind of news here. It's the Only Fools opening title song. Could be that as well. And now Goldfinger has grabbed a starling out of the air and turned it into a golden ornament. Its bill sharpened especially for the occasion. The starling encased in gold in midair. Beard count is up to 4.5. This is a disappointing day for the beard community. Oh, Boris is a bearded clam, so does he count as a +1? He's definitely some kind of clam, yeah. Now here we have a banner being brought into place. Oh, I think the builders are actually bringing in this decorative harass fencing because they're going to start breaking the floor out. Bad Book says apparently it's vegan anointing oil by the king requested. Okay, that's very interesting. Yes, so it's clear now what's happening. So the king needs to spend a penny, but will get stage fright if he has to do it on camera. So they are building a screen around the royal potty. And the music is very gayfully bouncing along. But Dinosaur Dad controversially thinks it's the NEC and it's a stand for his City Rover. I was under the impression that was later in the ceremony, but you could well be right. And Simon assumes that that's because they need to dig up the road there. It could well be that also. The BBC again make an error saying that they're singing Zadok the Priest by Handel. They're actually singing Always Look on the Bright Side of Life by Eric Idle. And the soldiers holding the screens in front of the royal potty are standing there with eyes watering because of the stench from the royal poo. Charles wishing he'd not had the chicken jalfrezi last night. The Earl Marshal still standing there with his rod aloft at a perfect 90 degrees. Oh, and we have a special guest. Louis is here watching the coronation with me and helping me with commentary. And he's bringing some useful facts to the party. Louis, very confused by what's going on this morning. Charlotte Hughes is here. Good morning, Charlotte Hughes. I hope you're enjoying this special broadcast from Beards and Bangers. Louis is off for a shit. Obi-Wan Kenobi has once again returned to center stage. Dinosaur Dad says named after a prince, no less. No, Louis is actually named after Louis Armstrong. Right. The screens are being removed. Air freshener is being sprayed around the royal potty. Louis the legend. Matt underscore his middle name is Charles. Does that mean you're royalty underscore? Simone asserts or questions if Charles is knocking one out. I think Camilla may have a special treat for him a little bit later on. Louis the legend. Yes, he is. He's now sitting, not going for the toilet because it's raining. And Charles has now been stripped of his Dunelm blanket and is in a white shirt that Camilla bought for him this morning from Burton's Menswear. He's now being swaddled and covered in another blanket, this time fashioned from Galaxy milk chocolate wrappers. This blanket was fashioned by the children of Balham Primary School during their break time. A man in a skirt with white Hunter Wellington boots has come to assist the king and is tucking his willy back into his trousers. The king is now being led back onto the potty. And yes, the Dunelm sponsoring just continues of this event. The king is now being given an option of 2 cushions to choose from. Would you like this cushion? Bow. And he's feeling it to see if he likes this cushion. He's rejected that cushion, and the salesman walks off looking very pissed off. And it's being put up there with the other things they've got from Dunelm. Penny Mordaunt still there with her sword aloft. Oh, and Penny has finally relinquished the sword. Her beautiful forearms may now be rested. And it was decided earlier that Penny definitely is a WAP. I absolutely would. Underscore asks, what time does Harry arrive? I think he may be there. Although he was masquerading as an actor from the American TV series Suits. Simone says that Penny looks like she has strong arms. It certainly does look like that, and I certainly hope that she does. She's trying not to giggle, though. Oh, no. A knowing smirk to the Archbishop of Canterbury from Penny Mordaunt. Sorry, Penny Mordaunt is one of the Conservative government people. She's an MP for somewhere down south, and is some high functionary in the interaction between the royal family and the government. And she's handed Charles a sword. Penny did run for PM, yes. Yes, no, he was in a suit underscore. He wasn't in the full SS uniform this time. That's later. And the men in black are still droning on, singing Hallelujah by Jeff Buckley. Charles does have the cake knife, yes. They've been out this morning and bought an Asda's tray bake with colourful sprinkles on it, and that will be cut as part of the ceremony. The Archbishop now asks Charles some important questions. Why did you forget to get the prawn crackers with the Chinese on Thursday night? I told you I wanted beef in black bean sauce, but you didn't listen. Charles now looking penitent because of fucking up the order of the Chinese meal. A man hands Charles his own sword, cake knife or poop knife, and Charles presents his sword to the Grand Wizard of England, who puts it with another collection of swords on this special dining table that has extending bits that come out so you can get extra bits on it and extra place settings. More items that have been taken from the poor, placed on this dining table. purchased especially for this occasion from Oak Furnitureland, who were having a 50% sale this week. Jeremy Clarkson, Black Lines, he comes into the service later on. Camilla looking quite grumpy because she's not allowed to sit next to her husband. And now another functionary hands Charles a set of toy drums. Charles, you will have to tap them a little bit harder to get any sound out of them. He closes his eyes and see if he likes them. Yes, the throne is very, very old, and it is covered in graffiti. Amazingly, it was left out, and people could just write on it if they wanted to. And now Prince William appears. And a man in a skirt hands him a pelmet for his curtain, which he uses to attempt to garrote his father. And now Charles is being covered with a massive throw, which William fastens. And this particular garment was bought from Georges of Asda, especially for this occasion. Charles is helped especially back into the potty. He thought he'd finished, but that jalfrezi is really wreaking its revenge on his bowels this morning. This time the screens aren't put up because the need was urgent. And now the royal bottle of Chambord is brought back to Charles. The Archbishop of Canterbury mistakenly calls it an orb, but we know what's truly inside that bottle. He has finished with the Chambord, and another high functionary returns it. And now Bruce Forsyth presents Charles with a special ring. And Charles puts his finger in the ring, which is sitting on a nice little knob-like thing on its little cushion thing. Gandalf now makes his way to the king and gives him a glove. Because he's going to prune the roses this afternoon. And now the Archbishop grabs the royal knob and places it in Charles's own hands. The royal knob, its tip encrusted with diamonds and jewels. Oh, he's giving him a second knob. The king now practicing for next year's ski season. And it's quite wondrous that chair is still supporting the weight of the king with all those blankets and furniture accessories on him. The Archbishop of Canterbury holds aloft a special party hat. It's so heavy that he's unable to turn with it. Yes, Simon, we are near the climax. And the Grand Wizard of England carefully brings this special helmet in front of the king, hands it back in an unnecessary step to the Archbishop, who holds it over the king as if he's going to bring it crashing down on his head. And there we have it. There we have it, ladies and gentlemen. There we have it. The Archbishop has scored. And proclaims the news, it could be you. Looking forward to tonight's National Lottery draw. It's a rollover. Camilla looking quite cross now. Prince George chewing a gobstopper to while away the time. Oh, and this is a surprise. The Pope has turned up late, but at least he's here. The brass music stirring. And no, Simone, that helmet does not comply with FIA regulations. I suspect that the Constructors' Championship will look quite different after this service. While you listen to this lovely, stirring, horny music, I'm going to recharge my Beards and Baggers mug, soon to be available to the general public, up with tea. Harold Bishop is now speaking his favourite lines from Neighbours. T count equals 3, yes. And now Dawn French, dressed in her outfit from the Vicar of Dibley, makes a prayer. And the appropriately named Mike Royal also joins in. And the Pope is praying along with everyone. Cheers, everyone. Happy Monarch's Day. The Archbishop proclaims the blessing. The King now resting his eyes for a moment. While the choir sing their favourite hits of the Velvet Underground. And there we see the members of Genesis walking off because they've had enough, because none of their hits were played at the coronation. There will be a small break while I let the cat out of the back door. Off you go. Go on, you silly boy. Go on, off you go. Go on. Letting the cat out of the back door is not a euphemism, by the way. Penny is now leading the King. Yes, I think the King does look amazing. I mean, this is, in all seriousness, a very somber occasion, filled with tradition. And you're being pulled and poked around and moved from chair to chair. As Simon commented earlier, it's a bit like old folks' home aerobics. A circle of clergy now forms around the King as they prepare for the traditional game of it. Yes, Simon, those chopsticks are too long. And Ross believes that the King is bricking it. It must be a very, yes, it must be quite something for our monarch to be going through this Saturday. More prayers are going on. Yes, Steve, Penny Mordaunt does look amazing. She is a very attractive lady. And the bishop to the right ruins the quiz by showing everyone the answers. So they're now going to cancel the game of Trivial Pursuit that they were going to play. Simon asks if Penny is the rich one with a yacht and stuff. I think Penny was in the Navy, and I shan't make any seaman jokes at this point. The King's flies have obviously opened because the Archbishop was having to hold his cape in front of him to protect his modesty. And now the King promises to serve for the rest of his life with the prayer, staying alive, staying alive. The Prince of Wales now recites from the Trivial Pursuit answers and touches the King's helmet. And this being a modern service, man can kiss man. The Archbishop now inviting everyone to chant. I shall remember to change the oil every 6,000 miles. So help me God. And the horny men of the Royal Air Force start blowing again. The organ is thundering. You can feel its vibrations as if you were there yourself. And a Greek lady has got in and is about to smash some plates. And I guess that means he's absolutely king now. And a very singy man is singing. And if any of you have got the Now Christmas Hits album, then you will find this track on there, I'm sure. Let's catch up on some comments. I do apologize. I've not been doing very well with comments here, but the crown is 2.6 kilos. Yeah, I think it's a heavy old helmet, that one, Simone. Bad Books tells Black Lines that Penny, despite having some wonderful policies in front of her, is still a swivel-eyed Tory. Black Lines thinks they're about to play musical chairs. I think, they do move into the games now they've done that bit. Only one slice can go in her toast rack. But Simon says Penny equals a nopewap. Controversial. Black Lines is only interested in her policies, as am I. Dinosaur Dad Ross wants to know when the King will sign his car loan agreement for the MG4, or did he miss it? No, that's coming up. I'm very pleased to say. Yes, because he now has got a charge point installed at Buckingham Palace. No, Simon, there's no finger food. They were supposed to be doing fish finger sandwiches with ketchup, but they haven't materialised. Mum has not been to Iceland, apparently. Black Lion says he may be king, but he's no Captain Mustard. That he is not, principally because he has no beard. Matt forgot. Matt Dickens, number plate and other things legend, is in the house. Good morning, Matt. How are you? Look what I'm drinking my tea out of. Oh, and I've been waffling on it. We missed a key moment. Oh. And Camilla, not for the first time, now has a helmet on her head. Is the singing man the new Doctor Who? Yes, I believe he is. Deirdre is Queen. And Camilla is presented with some rods. The rod of equity. Now that she has that, it means she can act again. And now it is Camilla's turn to stand up. And she walks unaided onto the trophy yellow carpet. Louis is very excited. He's meowing away. I'm going to pick him up and Louis can say hello again. And Camilla is now sitting in a chair. And she finally looks happy. And here we are. So this music has been composed by Joseph Lloyd. That is amazing. Absolutely incredible. Breaking news here. Joseph Lloyd has written one of the anthems for the Coronation. Incredible. And there are now more than one Harry Potter in the choir, which is quite confusing. Which is the real Harry Potter? Maybe we shall never know. A beard. Simon, there's a beard. There's a beard. Must be 5.5 now. The anthem being sung with such enthusiasm and fervour by the choir is set to just 3 words: beige leather interior, repeated over and over and fanfared by trumpets. Well, that was lovely. Matt Dickens asked why they sit so far apart. The King actually had a chicken jalfrezi last night, and it's playing havoc with his bowels. That's why. It is. We mustn't just be too flippant, Simone. It is an amazing looking building. I've never actually been to Westminster Abbey. Penny Mordaunt also showing there that she is also a magnificent looking building. Now the crowd sing a hymn. Something about "We love you, Manchester United, we do." Penny Mordaunt, of course, here being dressed in a Princess Leia costume to only add to the allure. Simon has to go. Goodbye, Simon. Thank you for joining me. And the King. The King thanks you too. And so does Nicholas Witchell. He just told me in my earpiece. And the King and Queen now shuffle off, led by Penny and followed up by two ladies in white. Someone else will have to now keep score. So Simon's final beard count was 5.5 plus Boris. Boris, of course, in Simon's word, being a bearded clam. And there we have some men in stripy trousers. And the Princess of Wales appears to have the giggles. And there are some politicians with the cast of Great British Bake Off in front of them. Well, I've not been keeping up with my program here, so I've no idea where we're actually at in the ceremony. Let's have a little flick through. Goodness me. There's still quite a bit to go in this service. So we shall have a small break. Do stay tuned. I am going to go for another royal wee. And when I get back, we shall see where the service is up to. So don't go anywhere. I'll be back in a moment. Well, hello there. Let's have a look at some comments. Simone spotted some feather dusters. There's some interesting things there that definitely have more than one purpose. Yes, he had a quick fag out the back in the non-American sense. Dunn said they put the hats in the back of the 420 Tourer. That's what the 420 Tourer was designed for. Charlotte Hughes likes my moniker. Hello there. Plates can only mean an imminent opening of the buffet. Yes, they're serving some interesting things. I believe they're having a pineapple and cheese hedgehog, some Asda's cocktail sausages, and some prawn vol au vents. The choir now sing another anthem. This time, I predict a riot by the Kaiser Chiefs. Obviously reflecting on what's about to happen when the buffet does open. Matt Dickens has obviously made a funny comment. Oh, here we are. Matt Dickens says both Major and Blair looked well. Boris looked fucking haggard. Yeah. That's because he is. But Bad Books thinks that Morris, we call him Morris now. Boris looks like a half-pissed womble. The sounds ring out resplendent in the vast acoustic. Everyone now faces east, apart from the king and queen. The Archbishop reminds everyone not to buy a Volkswagen. In a damning indictment of the VAG or VAG group. He's now moved on to Mercedes. And it looks to me as if he's behind that candle is a wagon wheel, which he has broken in half. The man in the blue cape is holding up a menu. And in a moment, the Archbishop will take out his phone, open the Just Eat app, and see which restaurants are serving now. The backup plan is, of course, to use Deliveroo to go and get some bits from Morrison's because he's hanging and can't be bothered to walk there on a Saturday morning. The Archbishop with his hands out like this, because over the altar will come a basketball and he's got to be ready to catch it. The Archbishop now solemnly questions the wisdom of buying a Tesla, even though ironically he is wearing Elon Musk today, especially for this royal occasion. The men with candles disappear, stage left. And behind the Archbishop, you can't actually see this on camera. He is, in fact, quick cooking a cheeky omelette. 3 eggs. And now silence fills the church. And the cat has returned. And the Archbishop gives the other clergy a piece of ice cream cone, but without any ice cream. And here we see the traditional Saturday morning hair of the dog ceremony. There, the Reverend Prue Leith looks into the cup, thinks, I'm not drinking that. But changes her mind. Any comments? You've all gone very quiet. I think you've been blown away by something. So I'm actually going to leave this here because I'm actually quite hungry, and so is the cat. And he's actually been wrapping himself around my legs for the last 10 minutes. I thank you for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this alternative commentary of the best part of the coronation. Enjoy your bank holiday weekend. So I'm going to say goodbye. Goodbye.